What's up, guys? Ben here, bringing you another video today. The Major 3 qualifiers start on Friday. As always, I'm recording this on Wednesday, so that means prediction time. Let's dive in and see what we have in store for week 1. We've got a bunch of new teams with some roster changes. They've got some exciting matchups. Let's dive in and see what we have in store and give a few predictions. All right, so honestly, the Major 2 cycle in terms of predictions was kind of a mixed bag for me. I don't think I did too bad, but I think I could do better this time around. So let's try and go a little bit higher for this major cycle. We also have our 2 boosts, although I don't think I'm going to use them this week. I think we'll save them for some matchups next week. So here we go. Here are the matchups starting on Friday. First off, we have the LA Thieves versus Vegas Legion. Vegas obviously going to be playing with 2 real now instead of Pro Loot. I don't think that's really going to change the result. And I assume, yeah, the community's predicting Thieves to win this pretty badly. I'm going to say LA Thieves 3-0. We'll give Vegas 1 map. I will say that you can make your predictions up until 3 p.m. So we'll definitely be taking a look at the map set for this matchup prior to. We might give or take away this extra map for Vegas, but I think Thieves should win this pretty handily. All right, next up, we have a fun rematch coming in from Major 2, the New York Subliners versus the Minnesota Rocker. This is kind of an interesting matchup. I think New York's the better hardpoint team. I think Rocker's the better search team. Control will kind of depend on the map, and I think both of them will probably end up playing a CeeLo. I think maybe not. I know New York's like 0-1 on it, but at Major 2, but I think that Rocker always is going to kind of get Hotel out of there. They're down to play maybe a Mickey Fortress. I think if this goes to game 5, I got Minnesota. They're just a better search team right now. I think this is a massive area of improvement for New York. They really struggled in Search and Destroy. The only map they really found success on it was a CeeLo, which I don't think will end up in the series because Rocker don't really play it. They like to play Embassy Hotel Fortress. So I think we're going to need to see Rocker on a bunch of, or we're going to see New York on a bunch of the rest of the maps. And if they do well, I think this series could go pretty quickly. If not, this could be a grueling game 5 that Rocker is going to take away from New York. All right, next up we have Boston versus Toronto, and a lot of the pick'ems are on Toronto, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with it being that lopsided. Boston's obviously coming in with the roster change, with Beans coming in for Methods. And I think that this might shuffle up their map pool quite a bit. Beans is really good at Hotel. That's a map that at times Boston's not really played in matches, especially during the Major 2 cycle for some reason, which I think is weird because they've got like kind of the perfect team for it. They really actually struggle. I just looked it up. 0-2 on Hotel Hardpoint in stage 2. They played a lot of Fortress, a lot of Embassy, which I can still see because, again, Big Wake, Beans, I think Fortress is still going to be a bread and butter for them in Hardpoint. As Embassy, I also see it as well. They play Hydro a lot. I mean, I just think in general, this Boston team is going to be a lot better in Respawn than the old team, just with, I think, Beans being a little bit more of a dynamic player than Zin. And by the way, it's not to hate on Zin. I just think that Ben is just like potentially a superstar in the league. I actually am going to take Boston 3-1 because I still don't trust him to win game 5. I am a little worried about this Toronto team, to be candid with you. I think they're a team that early on here I'm going to have under my microscope. I still think they're good, but I don't really know where they stack up relative to other like top 6 or 7 teams. I think Boston might come out and get it done here on the first day with their new look squad. All right, we're moving on to Saturday, and we've got Boston versus London. And sorry, London boys, I'm not giving you a map in this one. You're going to end up playing this team on Fortress, and it's not going to go well, probably. I think 91 to 8, sorry, in terms of percentage. I just don't see a path forward here for London again. We'll wait to see the map picks before we adjust it for our final choice before 3 p.m., but yeah, I think Boston's winning this one handily. Another one that I think will also be kind of lopsided is FaZe versus Florida. Obviously, Florida is going to have a little bit of a new team situation, so unsure kind of where they fit veto-wise. I just think FaZe are just too talented and too deep. Let's give Florida maybe 1 map here because they may surprise FaZe with just sort of maps that they're strong on, but they haven't had a lot of practice since their team just formed over the weekend. But I think FaZe should be able to deal with the skill on Florida. All right, we're moving on down. We've got LAG versus OPTIC, and I think, yeah, I was about to say, I think it's going to be pretty much heavy on the OPTIC side. Wow, LAG's record against OPTIC the last year or so has been not kind, but that's last year's team, not this year's team. I do think that with this new OPTIC squad with Dangosi, I think they're going to be really good. I'm just trying to think if I want to give LAG a map or not, because there are a number of maps that kind of overlap with OPTIC's pool that LAG are like pretty good at Embassy. I kind of like their Hydro as well. So I think maybe they could take a hard point, but it really depends on who wins the coin toss in this one. Let's give a map then. I don't know how I feel about that. This might be a 3-0, but LAG might win one, a gentleman's 3-1, and we'll go from there. Now, this is a fun one. We have the Rocker versus Seattle Surge in a matchup that we really need to nail here. Don't know which version of the Seattle team we're going to get. Traditionally, right, they do bounce back from bad majors last year and do pretty well in the next major. I'm just a little concerned because of there's no way that their search has gotten way better over the last 2 weeks. And I think about the map pool at times of these two teams, and again, there's a decent amount of overlap on the Rocker side. If Bands continues to play the way he's playing and we get like Hotel and like, I don't know, Fortress in this series, I think Rocker have a very good chance. I'm going to say Rocker in a game 5, a gritty game 5. And again, if we're going to go to game 5, I'm going to pick the team I think that's more likely to win the search. That's going to be Rocker. But I also wouldn't be surprised if, Seattle come out and just roll them on the respawns. This one's a really, really close series, and it's just kind of hard to predict how good both teams are going to play considering the performances of the last major. We're moving on to the next day, New York versus Florida. And unfortunately for the Florida boys, and we'll see what the fans are predicting here. Yeah, I just don't really see this for them. I'm going to give them a map because I think they are a better search team than New York. And again, until I kind of see more from New York search this week, I'm really they're going to continue to struggle at the game mode. So I'll give Florida one map, but I do think New York get it done. Kind of a tough bounce for Florida, but New York and FaZe are kind of two hard matchups to start with. So, and then we got another one that's just a bad draw for Vegas, Toronto, who would be coming off that Friday loss. I think they're going to work Vegas in about 25 minutes in this series. I don't think it's going to be that close. He had 91 to 8.1 in terms of predictions. Vegas has beaten Toronto in the past, but those were bygone years, and I just think this Toronto team, even with the Vegas 2 real changes, is going to be better. And then our last matchup, FaZe versus Thieves, and I really don't know how to predict this one because online, I don't really know kind of how people like which either team is going to do in terms of the maps they want to play in this series. Both of them, I think, should be good for winners bracket. And I mean, FaZe won the event from 6 seed, so I don't think it really matters to them what seed they get. I mean, I'm going to give FaZe this in a game 5 because I just think, again, when we go to these game 5s, I'll pick the team that's better in search. I look at search map pools, and for FaZe, they're going to probably get rid of in this series, maybe Fortress, although they might actually start to play a little bit more Fortress S&D just to have that club in their bag now. And it's probably going to be like a Hotel with CeeLo again map set. I mean, if Mercado also makes it in, I still feel good about FaZe as well. I just don't see Thieves playing them on Embassy S&D because that's been a consistent-ish veto for them. I mean, they just either veto Mercado or Embassy in like most of the series they play in regards to search. So we'll see what happens, but I think FaZe get it done in game 5 and it'll be a fun series to close out. So yeah, those are the predictions. We'll click the save button. I don't know. Week 1's a little bit hard. There are a couple of like easy matchups, the both Vegas series, and the first 2 on Saturday, I think that are like unlikely, even the first 3 on Saturday are unlikely to be upsets, but we have a couple of these coin tosses. And it's just hard to predict how teams are going to play over this couple of week layoff. And just kind of in general for a number of teams that have like a weaker schedule like FaZe, they're going to be hard to predict, I think, map count wise over the next couple of weeks because I can see them starting to experiment with their map pool more, and it's going to make them for some funky series. So excited for this first week. I think we got a couple of good matchups and excited to watch with y'all on Twitch. Yeah, so that's it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about these predictions. Like I said, I'm kind of but we'll see. Maybe I nailed them, maybe I didn't. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more. We'll see you guys with some more content later on this week. Do a Q&A at some point. And I got some other stuff I think I'm thinking about for the weekend. We'll see if we roll that out. But as always, guys, we will see you on the next one.